What is up, YouTube? Today there is some blood in the crypto streets, so we are going to be talking about whether it can recover or not. So let's get right into this. Starting with the total market cap, we have a higher low pattern currently. We have not made a higher high since this point right here. This is actually the highest point in the whole chart as the wick goes up to $146 billion. And then it goes all the way back down to this $111 billion level and does not breach that level when it goes up to 144. So we need to break a higher high pattern and hopefully hold this low in. This is why I've got a question mark right here, because this resistance needs to become support. So this low needs to stick. If this low fails and this low fails, I've already said this multiple times, I'm going to expect this very lowest point to fail and a new total low in the total market cap. On the contrary, if we break above the $144 billion level, especially with a little bit of volume, I'm going to expect higher highs in this trend and quite a bit of upside momentum for continuation. As far as patterns go, there are two falling wedges right here and a rising wedge that formed right here as well. So if this rising wedge pattern plays out and we actually get some continuation and these support levels to fail, specifically the $125 billion level, then that's not going to look very good for the bulls on the short term. But then again, the rising wedge pattern could always not play out, and this is a nice big cup and handle pattern as well. So if this resistance gets broken above, that cup and handle is going to take over from a pattern perspective. There really isn't much resistance over here previously, just a tiny bit of rejection in this area right here, but the real resistance isn't clear up until 176. So that's one of the reasons why it wouldn't surprise me if we do break out and head up towards these resistance levels, because we just really haven't tested any previous resistance yet. But I'm not going to jump the gun until we actually get above this resistance level. It's just not safe to predict that we're going to see a higher high until we actually get confirmation to do so. On coinmarketcap.com, we actually have quite a bit of blood today. Lots of coins down 1 to 7% ratio. But we have a few popping off in this period of time, so let's check out the top movers of the day. Top main movers are Ravencoin, Repo, and Tezos. So let's do some analysis on Tezos because it's up 29%. Tezos in the big picture has been in a downtrend since 2018 along with the rest of the other coins. We do have falling support, so a downtrending support level right here, and some downtrending resistance right here as well that we actually broke above, then consolidated sideways and started to push upwards with increasing volume. So in the big picture, this could be the beginnings of an uptrend. There was a nice Adam and Eve bottom right here. Here's the Adam and here's the rounded Eve. And we can go ahead and take this bottom formation and measure the first target to see if we've reached it yet. We actually are really close to the target currently. We only have about 3 more cents to push on the upside before we reach the first target. Now with these targets, they can overextend, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if this shoots higher before seeing its rejection, but that's the first viable place to take your profits. If we want to see this coin create an uptrend, then we need to see some type of a rejection and some type of a support found and another higher high coming after that. That would confirm that an uptrend is forming in this coin, especially if we can get above some of these previous support levels that are now resistance. But obviously, you guys, just a friendly reminder and warning not to FOMO into any of the coins on the top movers list, because anything that's up over 30% in 24 hours is just a little bit too risky to jump in on. Now let's talk about Bitcoin for a second, because we did go ahead and break above this downtrending resistance line, and we actually have fallen back onto it. So this could become short-term support. That would be what we want to see for the bulls, to see continuation and this cup and handle pattern to play out, break out, and to see higher highs coming in Bitcoin. But then again, we are still really close to this resistance, and just like previously, this has been known to break above the line a little bit and reject before dropping below. So I want to see more of a green candle, a bullish engulfing or a bullish pin hammer candle like this one right here to form before we can really confirm that this is looking good for the bulls. I also need to see this major resistance level broken above at 4287 before we can confirm the upside for the bulls. I'm now going to take the liberty to add another support level here that we can watch and an alert so that it texts my phone and lets us know if the weakness is coming for the bulls and the bears are taking over. So I'm going to go ahead and click at $4,053. And then we just double click on that line and press alert and press create. And that will go ahead and email me and text me if that level fails. We still have an alert on our resistance level as well. If this is broken above, that's going to give us confirmation for the bulls. And our next kind of spot that we'd be watching significantly is the $5,000 level and then some of these other support wicks that we saw previously. So above 5,000 is our next resistance zone. And obviously the biggest chunk of resistance would be 6,000. If this level breaks above, which, you know, we're not going to probably see that for a little while, but if we do get above that level, then that's confirmation of the big picture downtrend being over. Before I go, I wanted to talk a little bit about the stock market and specifically the S&P 500 because this does affect the price of crypto. Money doesn't disappear, it goes from one place to another and generally moves from different types of markets into other ones. For example, when stocks are doing really good, commodities generally don't do as well. And when commodities are doing really well, stocks tend to drop a little bit. So there are correlations between these markets. The S&P 500 is approaching a major resistance zone, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if we get rejections off this resistance zone up here. The main points to really be watching is going to be the $2,943 level and the $2,882 level. Those are key resistance levels and where we'd likely see a rejection in the stock market. There are lots of overvalued stocks right now that will directly affect the indices. And as money leaves these stocks, it's likely to go into crypto because like I just said, money doesn't just vanish out of thin air. It gets moved around into the place where it's most profitable to be, especially the big money in the whales because they know where to put their money. Stocks like Netflix, Apple, Amazon are all parabolic and likely are going to see some more dropping before they push higher. So a lot of that money has to go somewhere, and my first expectation is to go into crypto and maybe even silver. So that's just one thing that could help recover the crypto markets and maybe get us above that key resistance, especially if these indices and these stocks start dropping. So watch these really carefully and closely. I know I didn't make a video on Tuesday, you guys. I apologize for that. I will be seeing you tomorrow with another update to keep you guys posted in the crypto markets. Thank you so much for tuning in today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Go ahead and follow me on social media in the links below, and I will catch you guys in my next episodes. As always, stay profitable out there.